Two parents sat peacefully in their living room. They never imagined their sons were in the front yard planning their assassination. Number 17, the Mendz murders.
It was the first time that ordinary people became stars based on a murder charge.
Jose Mendz was a prominent movie and music executive. His wife, Kitty, was a socialite. Jose often clashed with his rebellious sons, Lyle and Eric.
The Mendz brothers looked at their father with a combination of hatred and worship. They hated the pressure and the demands that he put on them.
The strained relationship between father and sons created tension at home. But on August 20th, 1989, 21-year-old Lyle and 18-year-old Eric did the unthinkable. That night, the boys went out. Jose and Kitty fell asleep watching a video at their Beverly Hills mansion. Around 10 p.m., Lyle and Eric crept back into the house.
The two sons burst in with shotguns and started blasting him away.
Lyle fired at Jose, hitting him in the left elbow and right arm. Then Lyle placed the gun against the back of Jose's head.
They ran out of ammunition and they had to run back out to their car and reload their weapons. Went back in, put the gun up to their mother's face, point blank, and pulled the trigger.
The Mendz brothers carefully gathered the shell casings, leaving only the dead bodies of their parents for the cops to find.
They ditched their clothing, ditched their blood, ditched the blood-stained clothing and guns, returned to the house, pretended to have stumbled on the crime scene for the first time, and at 11:47, Lyle made that very famous 911 call to the Beverly Hills Police Department.
What's the problem? Someone killed my parents. They were shot? Yes. Who is the person that was shot? My mom and my dad. Your mom and dad? My mom and dad.
The boys were frantic and hysterical. And then if you listen to the 911 call, it's extremely disturbing.
In the beginning, the boys weren't suspects.
They didn't interrogate them at length, and usually, if there's a killing inside the home, you're supposed to start with those people who are closest to the victims and work out. Yet they didn't do that.
It just seemed like, somebody wanted these two people dead. It just came off as if it was a professional hit.
But in the first months after the murders, Lyle and Eric went on a spending spree, blowing more than $1 million.
And it was mostly the boys' own activities that drew attention to themselves. If they'd flown under the radar, who knows what would have happened.
Eventually, Eric, the younger of the two, started feeling guilty, and he blabbed to a psychiatrist that they were the ones that did it, and the whole thing fell apart.
Lyle and Eric were arrested in March 1990. They pleaded not guilty.
In fact, they give a statement. They fired a gun. So really, you don't be a genius to figure it out. And the case is whether or not that's a self-defense.
In court testimony, Lyle and Eric claimed they were the victims, not Jose and Kitty.
My dad had been molesting me.
They developed what's known now as the abuse excuse. They claimed that they were being sexually violated, abused by their father.
Well, very often with parricide, and that's when a child kills their parents, there is a history of abuse. And so they kill off their parents in an attempt to stop the abuse from happening.
I think before the Mendz case, we felt as a culture that nearly everybody who claims that they're abused probably were. Well, then along came the Mendz, who had killed not only the dad, who they say had abused them, but the mother, who never abused them. That's the kind of shocking fact, I think, made the jury take a step back and say, wait, we need to really examine this abuse excuse.
On July 2nd, 1996, after two extensive trials, the Mendz brothers were found guilty of first-degree murder.
Ultimately, the jury didn't buy the little crew neck sweaters, the little sad boy looks, and I think saw through the defense that they put on and saw that they were cold-blooded murderers.
Lyle and Eric are currently serving life sentences without parole at two separate California correctional facilities.